are you an international student or are you a first generation immigrant?
First generation of immigrant.
Okay. Let me ask you a couple questions regarding my class, Compare Literature 2400. So, what are some interesting cultural differences unique to your country?
Uh, the color difference.
Like how so?
Like American people like to be tan. They think tan is kind of pretty, but in China, also in the old Asia country, girls girls think they should be white, and white is pretty.
All right. So you say like the preference of color, like tan and untan,
Yeah.
versus like so you're saying about the working class in China, right?
Mm-hmm.
The more pale they are, the less they work in the
Mm-hmm.
fields. So do you know the word of yin yang?
Yeah.
Can you tell me something about it? Like, do you believe in it? Do you think, what is it?
I actually believe in God, so
So you're more of a Christian approach,
yeah.
westward approach. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe in ghosts though?
No.
All right.
Maybe
Um,
this one.
but like one question is like, what do you define as a ghost?
Coco.
No, shut up. All right. What do you define as a ghost? Like supernatural beings or white fluffy stuff?
I'll say white fluffy stuff.
All right, fair enough. So let me ask you, like, when you first came to the U.S., like, what was it like? Was it different? Was it cultural shock, or how was it?
Uh, Education in here is pretty easy, and first day I don't understand anything. They try to talk to me, but yeah,
Okay.
I'm not fine.
What do you feel like it's like a major hardship you had to overcome when you first came in here? Like, is it the language barrier, or like is it just different types of people, or what?
Language and also the food in here, and yeah, that's it.
All right. So, I know that you're Taiwanese, but the fact that like, and there's China, there's still a lot of one-child policies. Is it? I know it's still like enforced now,
Ah!
but it's probably less strictly enforced. So I'm asking you like, I'm basically asking like, what do you think of the one-child policy in China?
Uh, no comment.
No comment. Is it a sensitive topic, or is it just because it doesn't really exist that much in Taiwan, so you don't
Yeah,
know
it
that
doesn't
much?
really exist that much, and I don't think it doesn't exist in China too.
I
I'm pretty sure one of my friends told me you just need to pay like a couple $100 to get the other child.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Let me ask you one last question though. If you were to say like a symbol for China, what would you think? What would you think China be like? Would you say like China is like a symbol of the dragon, the long, or would you say like, what would you say is it like? Would you represent China as like the main aspects of China? Is it for the food? Is it for the difference in culture, or the landscapes, or what? What do you? What's like the main point of China? Like
I will say the landscape.
the landscape, like
Yeah.
the okay, fair enough. All right, thank you for your time.
You're welcome. Bye.
All right. So, would you state your name?
My name is Chinmay Sharma.
Okay. And are you a first-generation immigrant or an international student?
I'm a first generation immigrant.
Okay. And if you could tell me any like cultural aspects unique to your culture that you find interesting.
Well, some of the things I would find interesting is the amount of religious diversity there is just among in the entirety of India itself. Like if you go to different families and witness their own religious ceremonies, they differ from house to house. And I think that's probably one of the most interesting things. And it's also a matter of how like involved everyone can be like in their community, even though we're so far from home. Like I know back home at our temple, in our Hindu community, we have like so much going on always, and everyone's always willing to help. And I feel like that's not always seen throughout all communities here. So I would say that's probably one of the good things about our culture.
All right. So more on a little bit on religion. So do you know of the concept of a yin world? It's
Uh,
basically an underworld.
oh, I mean, I know the concept, and I mean, I understand the concept, I would say. But in terms of Hinduism, they don't actually believe in the underworld. They more so believe in the concept of reincarnation, in that based on your previous life, your karma, Whether you do good things or bad things will determine whether you go higher in the chain or lower in the chain. So it just depends on how your karma is in your previous life.
All right. So would you say you believe in ghosts at all or no?
I don't believe in that.
Okay. So also, you have a dual citizenship, right?
That's correct.
So what two countries are you a citizen of?
I'm a citizen of the United States and of India.
All right. So in the book we're currently reading, one of the major themes is identity.
Right.
So how would you feel? Do you feel identify more as an American or as an Indian?
I mean, I feel like it's a tough question because I have lived primarily most of my life. I mean, I think I would say 18 out of my 20 years of life have been spent here in the United States. So I feel like I would relate more to the United States, but in terms of culturally, I think I could relate more to India just because of my own personal beliefs.
All right. So one last thing. You know about the prevalence of arranged marriages in India, right?
That's correct.
So do you have any particular view on that?
I mean, I feel as though it's a tough concept to grasp in the sense that I know people who have had arranged marriages. My cousin is currently in the process of being in an arranged marriage, and I've seen it work successfully, and I've seen it work unsuccessfully. So it just depends on how you're willing to adapt to the individual around you. But personally, I don't think I would want an arranged marriage myself.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yep.